Ever hear the term authoritarianism and picture a dystopian novel come to life? A world ruled by a tyrant where dissent is crushed and individuality is a crime? Well, you're not entirely wrong. Authoritarianism is all about strong, centralized power, with little to no regard for individual rights or freedoms. But before you stock up on canned goods and prepare for a fight for freedom, let's delve deeper into this complex concept. At its core, authoritarianism is a system of government where power is concentrated in the hands of a single person, a small group, or a political party. This ruling elite holds absolute authority and faces minimal checks and balances. Individual rights and freedoms are often curtailed, and dissent is discouraged or even punished. Here are some key features of authoritarianism. Limited political participation. Citizens have little to no say in who governs them or how they are governed. Elections, if they exist, are often rigged or meaningless. Suppression of dissent. Criticism of the government is not tolerated. Free speech and press are restricted, and opposition groups are often harassed or outlawed. Strong control of the media. The government controls or heavily influences the media, using it to spread propaganda and suppress dissent. Focus on order and stability. Authoritarian regimes prioritize maintaining order more than anything else, even if it means sacrificing individual freedoms. Authoritarianism has been a recurring theme throughout history, from the pharaohs of ancient Egypt to the absolute monarchs of Europe. In the 20th century, totalitarian regimes like Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union took authoritarianism to a terrifying extreme. Authoritarianism exists on a spectrum. Some regimes are more brutal and repressive than others. Here are some variations. Monarchy. A hereditary ruler holds absolute power. Think King Louis XIV of France. Dictatorship. A single person or party seizes control through force or manipulation. Think Muammar Gaddafi in Libya. Oligarchy. Power rests with a small group of elites, not necessarily through elections. Think the military junta in Myanmar. Authoritarianism versus other ideologies, where they clash. Authoritarianism stands in stark opposition to most democratic and liberal ideologies. Democracy aims for a government that represents the will of the people with checks and balances to prevent abuse of power. Liberalism emphasizes individual liberty, limited government intervention and rule of law, all things trampled upon by authoritarian regimes. Socialism and communism. While these ideologies can be authoritarian, think Stalin's Soviet Union, they often aim for a more egalitarian society, something most authoritarian regimes don't prioritize. The rise of democracy and globalization has challenged the dominance of authoritarianism in recent decades. However, authoritarian leaders are still prevalent in many parts of the world, and democratic institutions are under threat in some countries. The takeaway: authoritarianism is more than just Big Brother. Authoritarianism is a system of government where power rests in the hands of a few, with little regard for individual rights. While it might conjure images of dystopian novels, it's a real threat to democracy and freedom around the world. So the next time you hear this term, remember that it's not just about oppressive regimes. It's about the constant struggle between individual liberty and the iron fist of absolute power.